Just like we express other equations on graphs, we can put an inequality on a graph. The good news is it's almost exactly the same as doing a nonlinear equation. A non-inequality equation, I should say. So just have a look at previous videos to make sure you know how to plot a linear equation first. For instance, I've picked a nice easy one here, x is equal to y. So remember that there's no number next to the x, so therefore, so it's not x plus 2 or so on, so it just crosses the y-axis at 0. And because it's equal to 1x, the y is equal to 1x, it simply has a gradient of 1. It goes 1x for every 1 y, and hence you get this perfectly diagonal line through the center of the two axes. So that's a non-inequality equation. What happens if it's less than or equal to? How do we show this? Well, basically, make sure that y comes up first on the equation. So in other words, that equation showed us that y is greater than or equal to x. Now the greater than part is shown by shading in part of the graph. So in this case, because y is greater than x, you shade in the top of the graph. What if it's the other way around? Well, if y is less than or equal to x, then we're going to shade in underneath. So it's fairly straightforward because the y could be any of these values, or x, depending on which way you look at it. So what then if we need to do x is just greater than? Before was x is greater than or equal to, or x is less than or equal to. Well, this graph, y is less than x, we use a dotted line instead of a solid line. So if you're doing y is less than or equal to x, this should have a solid line and shaded in underneath. For y is less than x, we need a dotted line or a dashed line with it shaded in underneath. And unsurprisingly then, when we do the reverse, y is greater than x, we shade in above the equation that line that we've drawn up with a dotted line. And that's all there is to drawing inequalities on graphs.